Arizona is brought to you in part by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jack in the Box. If the D-backs hit a home run today, score a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink.
And our exclusive coverage of Diamondbacks baseball does continue here from Coors Field in Denver, just moments away now from the start of Game 1 of this brief 3-game series and road trip. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies. I'm Todd Walsh inside the Arizona Diamondbacks dugout. Steve Bethune just mentioned the roster move that was made earlier today with the injury to Cliff Pennington. Didi Gregorius, recalled from AAA Reno. You know the story. Did not make the big league roster coming out of training camp. Wasn't happy with that, but he then managed to find his game in Reno. And earlier today, we talked about the fact that, you know what, bottom line is you go to work every day, the numbers will come, and maybe you'll get that recall, and that's what happened.
Yeah, you know, just one thing you never know. You always got to keep the game and go day by day. Don't ever worry about nothing else, you know. So just try to do your best, and then hopes for the best.
How about the numbers down there? It looked like you were doing what you needed to do, man.
Well, you know, I made a lot of adjustments when I went down there. You know, I took everything and they told me here, and then when I got there, talking to the guys and everything, you know, all of them had some times, you know, and then yeah, we all try to help each other out. So, you know, a bit of a better team, and we were doing really good.
And there are the numbers that you see Didi posted in Reno. Cliff Pennington with that injured thumb. Kirk Gibson telling us earlier today that surgery will be required on that. Could be out a couple of months. Love the tweet that Gregorius posted last night to his Twitter account saying the time for wishing is past. It's time for doing, with the hashtag hard work. Looks like he's been hard at work down in Reno. You've got the pitching matchup. We talked about it on the pregame show. Could be a good one here tonight. Jorge De La Rosa, who's been masterful against the Arizona Diamondbacks in his career. And then Chase Anderson. The evolution and the maturation of this young pitcher continues, going up against the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field. Stick around.
Lineup cards at Coors Field. Steve Berthune, Bob Renly, Todd Walsh back with you. The D-backs and the Rockies, and no Goldie out there today. We've been talking about how Paul Goldschmidt could use a break, and it's right now coming after an off day against a left-hander at Coors Field.
A little bit puzzling. Would have been very easy to give him Sunday off against a tough right-hander at Chase Field, but I know from experience it's not easy to give a guy like Paul Goldschmidt a day off. He's going to plead his case. He's going to go bare knuckle if he has to get back in that lineup. You really have to convince him that it's not only for his own good, but for the good of the team.
Snaps Goldie's streak of 59 straight starts at first, the second longest streak in D-backs history behind Travis Lee's 60-game stretch in 1998. So no Goldie in there as we take a look at our Tire Pro starting lineup for the D-backs.
Gerardo Parra at the top of the lineup in right field. Aaron Hill at second base. Martin Prado batting third, playing third base. First time he's hit third since the end of August last season. Probably the last time Goldie had a day off. Miguel Montero doing the catching. Cody Ross in left field. Nick Evans getting the start at first base in place of Paul Goldschmidt. Chris Owings is short. Ender Inciarte out in center field. And right-hander Chase Anderson on the mound.
Rockies come in at 28-28, a 500 record for the first time since April 20th. They are just back from a 2-7 road trip. They were outscored on the trip 46-26. And now they'll look to the guy who has been their ace this year, Jorge De La Rosa, and he has dominated the D-backs at Coors Field in his career. He is our Arizona Ford starting pitcher. De La Rosa, 33-year-old right-hander, or left-hander, pardon me. He was a 16-game winner with the Rockies last year. He started this year 0-3, but is unbeaten in his last 7 starts. He has been outstanding lately.
Coming off a solid start against the Philadelphia Phillies, 6 innings, gave up 6 hits and 1 run in that ball game.
He has not lost since April 16th in 10 starts versus Arizona in this ballpark. He is 8-0 with a 1.79 ERA. This is the Diamondbacks defensively behind their left-hander.
The Rockies are not usually known for their defense, but they've been pretty good this year. 4th fewest errors in the National League. It'll be Carlos Gonzalez, Charlie Blackmon, and Michael Kadire left to right across the outfield. Charlie Culberson filling in for Nolan Arenado at third base. Chris Owings, or rather, wrong card. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. DJ LeMahieu at second base. Justin Morneau over at first. Willeen Rosario behind the plate for left-hander Jorge De La Rosa.
De La Rosa 1.79 in this ballpark against the D-backs. Not only is that good, it's the best ERA by a Rocky starter at home against any opposing team. And you've got the Sports Illustrated cover boy out there behind him in Troy Tulowitzki. And this is the time of day where the sun, kind of sets right behind the left field foul pole. And it is very hard on anybody who's playing first base right now. Justin Morneau, that's the look we're getting here on an absolutely gorgeous day in downtown Denver. And we're set for baseball as Gerardo Parra steps in to lead it off. D-backs have lost both their previous series against the Rockies this season. And both times it was one hitter doing most of the damage. First Charlie Blackmon and then Troy Tulowitzki. So we'll see who the hot bat in this lineup is for Colorado and see if the Diamondbacks, with Nick Evans at first and Ender Inciarte and some of the other guys in there today, can get things going against a guy who has given them a lot of trouble here, Jorge De La Rosa. You can see how difficult those shadows are right now.
It's kind of odd because home plate's in the shadows, the mound, second base, and most of center field is in the bright sunlight, and then the batter's eye is in the shadow as well.
And then you've got De La Rosa with that unusual double hitch in his giddy-up out there on the mound.
Deception, deception, deception.
It starts, it stops, it starts, it stops on the way up. 2-0.
He can be basically a 2-pitch guy. We're going to get a look at that unusual delivery. Stops, starts again, lifts the knee on up. He'll sink his fastball, he'll cut his fastball, has a real good straight changeup, and you'll see some sliders to the left-handed hitters.
He's behind immediately on Parra, 3-0. Gerardo Parra, 270 on the year and 5 homers. And Aaron Hill in the 2-hole tonight. A different look to Kirk Gibson's lineup. Here's the 3-0. 4-pitch walk to start it off. Good opener for the D-backs, and Parra's aboard.
One of the keys in the open of the show, talking about Diamondbacks pitching. One thing you have to avoid is the base on balls, and De La Rosa, first hitter of the game, can't find the zone. Make it hurt.
And Chase Anderson, the Diamondbacks have a remarkable ability to score runs when he is the pitcher. And so we'll see if that trend continues. Aaron Hill in the dark down there. And finally, De La Rosa throws a strike. It's 0-1. Aaron Hill, 252, 5 homers. Aaron had a pair of doubles the last time the D-backs played here in April. That was the first road series of the season. And the weather is a lot nicer this time around. Just gorgeous. Base hit. Aaron Hill knocks it into left. First two have reached for the D-backs. I wonder if Chase Anderson thinks it's like this all the time.
Yeah, it's like Derek Jeter and going to the playoffs, you know. You think you're supposed to do it all the time. Crazy run support for Chase Anderson. Over 12.5 runs per start. The rest of the rotation getting just under 4.
He's got 4 times as many runs as everybody else. No wonder no one will talk to him over there. And we are fighting the wind right now. There's a very strong wind gusting across the outfield from the left field foul pole over to the right field foul pole. And the pine trees out there in Wade Miley country are blowing around. Here's Prado. He looks at strike one. Martin Prado batting third tonight at .267 and 2 homers. So keep in mind, anything that gets up in the air is going to drift hard toward right field. But if you're a pitcher in this ballpark, and Bob talked about this in the open, one of the goals is not to have anything hit up in the air.
Yeah, preferably you keep that ball down at knee level with some movement. Try to get that ball on the ground. I've yet to see a ground ball leave the park.
0-1 to Prado. Martin Prado, a pair of hits in Sunday's game against the Reds. .327 with runners in scoring position this year. He's got Parra at second and Hill at first. Just underway. That's what Justin Morneau, the first baseman, is looking into. Culberson at third has it. Charlie Culberson filling in for the injured Golden Glover, Nolan Arenado, and he makes a terrific play there to get Prado one away.
Good reaction by Parra and Aaron Hill to freeze on contact. They saw that line drive. Nice play by Culberson to get to it. By the time he gets back to his feet, both D-backs runners were headed back to their bases.
Arenado on the 15-day DL with a fractured finger, suffered sliding headfirst into the bag in Atlanta about 10 days ago. So they have kind of ham and egged it over there at third. Michael Kadire actually played a few games over there. And tonight it's Charlie Culberson. So one away. Here's Miguel Montero. 261, 5 homers for Miggy. Montero had a pair of hits on Sunday at Chase Field. He's hit safely in 5 of his last 6. Popped up into a very light sky. Culberson looking up there for it. Straddling the line. He's got it 2 down. Brings up Cody Ross.
It seems like we say it every night, partner. Take advantage of early opportunities against good pitching. And De La Rosa, when given an opportunity to settle in, has been a good pitcher this year. Really like to cash in at least one here in the first.
Cody 184 and a homer. He's up there with 2 on and 2 out. In there against Jorge De La Rosa, 0-3 to start the year, but unbeaten in his last 7 starts. Hasn't lost since the middle of April. And after walking Parra on 4 pitches to open the ball game, he has now thrown strike 1 to 4 straight batters.
Mentioned De La Rosa's last outing against the Phillies. They actually scored against him, snapping a 15-inning scoreless streak.
In the hole, Culberson smothers that one and makes a nice play to get the force on Aaron Hill at second. 2 very nice defensive plays by Charlie Culberson filling in at third. Now it's pull-up time for Chase Anderson. We're underway in downtown Denver. here this evening at Coors Field, where the Rockies are hitting .344 as a team. Let's take a look at Colorado. It's our Tire Pro starting lineup.
That guy at the top of the order, Charlie Blackmon, has had a big season already against the Diamondbacks, followed by Michael Kadire, Justin Morneau, Troy Tulowitzki hitting .521 at Coors Field. Come on! Carlos Gonzalez in left field, Willeen Rosario behind the plate, Charlie Culberson a couple of nice defensive plays down at third base already, DJ LeMahieu at second base, and Jorge De La Rosa on the mound.
Manager Walt Weiss hoping to get healthy here as they get back home. They've been on the road for a long time, and now at .500 for the first time since April 20th. Your Arizona Ford starting pitcher is Chase Anderson. 3 major league starts. He's won all of them. But as we mentioned, he's also had a lot of offense behind him. 22 runs of support in 3 starts. He gets his first Coors Field test here tonight.
And it will be a test. Chase Anderson has given up better than a hit per inning, but a lot of those came after his team spotted him to a big lead. He's going to have traffic on the bases. It always happens here at Coors Field. You just have to be able to pitch around any runners on base.
And you have to be very careful with this guy, Charlie Blackmon, at Cleveland over the weekend. He hit his 10th home run this year, all from the leadoff spot. A near .350 OBP as the leadoff hitter. And he has already broken the Rockies record for homers by a leadoff man, which was 9 set by Dexter Fowler last year. So they get you with an immediate threat in their lineup with this guy.
When was the last time you heard of a leadoff hitter leading the team in RBIs?
Crazy, isn't it? And we will show you this throughout the Rockies' first time in the lineup. It's the Coors Field effect, and you will see some startling home road splits with these guys. Like Blackmon, .429 at home, .281 on the road. He swings through the 3-1. It's full. Three balls and 2 strikes. It's away from Montero, but Blackmon is aboard with a leadoff walk. And that was what you said, Bob, at the top of the show. Don't walk guys.
Well, maybe Chase just wants to learn the hard way. Sure, he was trying to throw strikes there to Charlie Blackmon, but you can't just lay the ball over the middle of the plate in this ballpark to this Rockies offense. Always have to try to make quality pitches around the edges.
Michael Kadire, .318, 5 home runs. Last year's National League batting champion. He hit .331 and having another great year despite missing a month because of a strained left hamstring. And in terms of the Coors Field effect on Michael Kadire, who for a long time hit in the Metrodome, .389 here, .282 on the road, so he's more than 100 points of batting average better in this ballpark, and that puts him really at the back end of that line. Some of the differences are a lot more than that. The 1-0 misses. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Kadire didn't come back from his hamstring until May 20th, and he's hit about .320 in 12 games since he's been back. That includes 2 homers. Charlie Blackmon, 10 stolen bases this year in 13 attempts. Keep an eye on him down there. That's a called strike. It's 2-1. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, is our plate umpire tonight. Nick Evans squinting into the sun down there at first.
Yeah, really, that's the play that is going to come into effect here with the sun going down, is the first baseman fielding pickoff throws or throws from the left side of the infield. Everybody else should be okay.
How about Nick Evans? He hasn't played in the big league since 2011. Finally gets 2 at-bats. They're both against Aroldis Chapman, who threw 103 miles an hour at him. Now defensively, it's his first game action in 3 years, and he's squinting into that Coors Field sunset.
And glad to do it.
You bet. 2-2. The numbers on Charlie Blackmon. First base coach Eric Young Sr. down there.
Rockies don't run a lot. They've got a few guys that will steal. Drew Stubbs has good speed, 6 for 6 in stolen base attempts this year, and Charlie Blackmon with his 10 for 13. A couple stolen bases here or there, but as you can imagine in this ballpark with this offense, they don't want to run into outs on the bases.
Not with all these good hitters coming up one after the other. 2-2. Blackmon holds. Kadire drives it into right. Parra. Gerardo Parra makes a tremendous diving catch. The two-time Gold Glover. And with Blackmon's speed, that gets behind him. It's almost certainly a run.
I think the wind might have helped Gerardo Parra on that. As you mentioned, it's blowing from the left field corner toward the right field corner. Might have pushed that one back toward Gerardo just a little bit, and Parra is just so alert, always looking to get another out. You know, a diving catch in the gap in right center is not enough. He's looking to double off Blackmon at first base if he strayed too far. Watch Parra right at the end of this play. After he makes the catch, he dives on the grass out there in right center. Watch his head immediately spin back toward the infield to see where Blackmon was.
Justin Morneau steps in. The Coors Field effect for Morneau. There it is, about 100 points. Every batter in this lineup gets immediately healthy when they hit in this yard. Morneau, though, not hitting much lately, about a .180 over his last dozen games, and he has started almost every game this year for Walt Weiss, 50 starts. And he's been a terrific pickup for him. That is by Owings and into center. And so Blackmon thought it was caught. He forgot to take off, and now they get the force at second. He went back to the bag at first. He must have thought that the ball was in the glove of CO. That one is hard to explain.
Yeah, CO didn't get a good jump on that ball. It shoots by him into center field, and I think Charlie Blackmon mistakenly thought that Chris Owings made the catch. He had his back turned to the play and was running back to first base.
It was really well hit up the middle, just by a diving Owings. Blackmon started going back toward the first base bag, so that is a fielder's choice, and 8-4 on the putout.
Hang with him.
Well, he smashed it up the middle and got a fielder's choice. Here is Troy Tulowitzki, leading the universe in every offensive category. The Coors Field effect. Look at this. 521. He is hitting 521 in this ballpark this year. 234 on the road. How is that possible? It's amazing. That one misses. It's 1-1.
We touched on it in the open. It's always been the case. The Rockies have always hit better at home than on the road, but usually it's a reasonable margin. This has just been off the charts.
Tulowitzki leading the league in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, and runs scored. But he had a tough road trip. It almost seems silly to mention it the way he's going, but it kind of ties into what we've talked about. They just came back from this road trip. It didn't go well for them. They were swept in Cleveland over the weekend. So as he steps in here, he is only 3 for his last 23. But all of that was away from this ballpark. Bounce to third. It backs up Prado. They go the short way for the force on Morneau, and that's the inning. We are scoreless through one, just underway at Coors Field. Arizona's Fan Express, presented by Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores, is set to take you to a D-backs game. Stop by this month's participating Cox Solution Store in Mesa, and you can enter to win 2 seats on the Fan Express bus. They'll take you back and forth to the D-backs game on June 22nd. All the info you need is at foxsportsarizona.com. Set for the second inning here in Denver. D-back Nation. A lot of Diamondback fans always make the trip here, and boy, they got great weather for it. It's supposed to be gorgeous here all week long, and so we'll look for some Sedona red amongst the purple here at Coors. Here's Nick Evans, his first at bat as a Diamondback against a pitcher other than Aroldis Chapman. De La Rosa, another lefty, doesn't throw quite as hard.
I was just thinking that. It has to be like slow pitch softball compared to Aroldis Chapman, but Nick Evans really looking forward to this opportunity to get multiple at-bats here today.
Nick getting the start at first base with Paul Goldschmidt getting the night off. Evans has played 54 games in the big leagues at first with the New York Mets. He started 38 games there with the Mets in 2011. That was his last year in the big leagues. And De La Rosa, just like Power to lead off the game, struggling to throw strikes. It's 3-0, and you know this guy. Well, you should have seen him during batting practice, hitting with the last group, the reserves. First of all, how weird is that? And he was fidgety, just didn't know what to do with himself down there. Joking with Turner Ward. So you go in, I'll be the hitting coach today.
You can tell he doesn't know what to do. It's about 88 degrees here at game time at Coors Field, and he's wearing a hoodie.
He's just a mess right now. 3-1. Hard to short. One hop for Tulo. One away. Here's Chris Owings. And Chris trying to get that bat back on track. He hit .313 in March and April, but hit under .220 in May, so he's in there at .263 on the year and 3 homers. And now both the pitcher's mound and the home plate area enveloped in shadow, but it is bright on those infielders, boy. Second baseman, shortstop, first baseman, still a lot of squinting out there.
I'm not so sure that Chris Owings was affected by those shadows and sunlight on that line drive by Morneau. I mean, it was just a step or two to his left, and just the way he reacted looked like he didn't really pick it up off the bat.
CO hits this one to left center field. Cargo won't get there, and it will roll to the wall, and Owings is on the run. He will head for third, and he will get there. Chris Owings, a stand-up triple, his third triple this year. And that's a great example of how to do damage in this ballpark. Find those gaps.
Chris went down and got that one. That carried well. Looked like Cargo thought he had a chance to get there with the dive and then thought better of it. Turns around, chases it all the way to the wall. And with Chris Owings' speed, that's going to be an easy triple.
He's had a real bad left knee tendonitis on and off for Gonzalez this year. You could certainly see it affect him there. So a 1-out runner at third for Ender Inciarte. And Ender showing off his offensive game a little more lately. He has hit safely in 4 of his last 5. Infield coming in. And that one is fouled back 0-1.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Rockies infield looks like they're going to try and cut down this run at home if they can. Inciarte, 4 hits in his last 13 at bats. Owings at third, 1 out. Hard to first. Morneau coming home. And they have Owings at the plate. That was hit hard and right at the first baseman.
Rockies brought their infield in after the first pitch to Inciarte. I think sometimes the decision to do that is made where you're at in the lineup. And with Inciarte, the number 8 hitter at the plate, the pitcher due up next, the Rockies decided to take a chance, play their infield in. Diamondbacks also took a chance there going on contact because they were at the bottom of the order. And unfortunately, Chris Owings runs into an easy out at the plate.
Chase Anderson. Slow roller near second. LeMahieu is over there. And that's the inning. So the one-out triple is erased. We'll go to the bottom of the second. No score. Chase Field, all fans who purchase a special beach night ticket package will receive this reversible D-backs bucket hat. After the game, enjoy our Friday night fireworks courtesy of Gila River Casinos, set to the sounds of summer. Now there are a limited number of beach ticket night packages available. You can only get the bucket hat through the special offer, so visit dbacks.com/events and get your tickets today.
Nice looking lid. His and hers, depending on how you roll it around there.
Chase Anderson out there for his second inning of work. More Diamondbacks fans with us here in Lodo, lower downtown. That is a major league mustache right there. Face painting, a lot of D-back fans here. Made the short flight over to join us for this three-game series.
Thought they were getting out of the heat in the valley and come to Denver where they were having near record high temperatures.
They're all blaming us. Hey, you brought the heat with you. Carlos Gonzalez. And the shift is on against Cargo. The Coors Field effect. Look at this. 363 here, 184 away from Coors Field. And the Diamondbacks with the three infielders on the right side against Cargo, who swings through that one at 0-2. Well, that is a tough sun out there right now. And this is a guy who has always been streaky, but he is struggling big time right now. The batting average, the on-base percentage, the slugging, what are known as the triple slash line numbers, all by far the lowest of his career. And he is just 2 for his last 22. And it's been slow going right there. 1 home run, 8 strikeouts in that 2 for 22. He's going through another downturn here due to, in part, to a right calf contusion, injured on a foul ball last week. He's also got a bad knee. He's battled all season long, and Anderson throws him out, 1 away in the second.
Well, we have a moment. Let's take a look at our Valley Honda dealers' keys to the ball game. As always at Coors Field, it's imperative to keep the ball in the ballpark. And don't forget the secret weapon. He may not be in the starting lineup tonight, but Paul Goldschmidt is lurking in that third base dugout and may get an opportunity to hit later in the ballgame.
The secret weapon?
It's not much of a secret, but
tonight.
I guarantee you Walt Weiss has his name circled on that lineup card, and will keep a close eye on Goldie should he get up and get his gloves on, start swinging the bat in that dugout.
Well, around here they call Willeen Rosario the Bull. He's in there at 225. That is a big downturn for him. He had 292 last year. And he missed 13 games at the beginning of May because of a virus, the Coors Field effect. And there it is for Willeen Rosario. Rockies trainer Keith Duggar said that Rosario didn't just have a bug, he had type B influenza. I mean, the real big-time flu that can wipe you out for a month. And Rosario was down for a long time. He lost 10 pounds. And he has hit just 195 in 12 games since coming back from the DL. Well, he is far from his normal self these days. He's also got that sore left hand that he suffered on a swing very early in the year that's still bugging him. So a lot of these guys are dinged up for Colorado. The 2-1. Right through Chase Anderson and into center field. That's the first Rockies hit.
It's a hard ground ball right back up the middle of the field. The first hop that time was on the infield grass, so that was more of a one-hop line drive past the mound than an easy ground ball.
Brings up the third baseman who made two terrific plays defensively in the top of the first inning. Charlie Culberson filling in for the injured Nolan Arenado, who's out with a broken finger. And Culberson, the offense has not been there this year. 185 and 1 homer.
And with that in mind, in the absence of Nolan Arenado, you may see Michael Kadire come in and start to play a little bit more at third base. He's started once on that last road trip. First time he'd started at third base since the 2010 season, but that would also allow them to get Dickerson in the lineup, Corey Dickerson, who's really been swinging it well.
And you can see by the Coors Field effect on Charlie Culberson, it's had no effect. That's how much he has struggled offensively. And this is just his 7th start at third base in the big leagues. He played a fair amount over there in the minors. Rosario at first, 1 away. Oh, that's a strike, says Jerry Lane behind the plate.
I was hoping it would look better than that on our Fox tracks, but
we do what we can for you.
Looked like we got one right there.
1-2. Right by Stu Cole at third. Charlie Culberson, interesting guy, comes from a baseball family. His grandfather, Leon Culberson, played 6 years in the major leagues in the 1940s, all with the Boston Red Sox, and was a teammate of Ted Williams. Played in the 1946 World Series. He was a center fielder. Two and two. Chase Anderson outstanding in his major league debut against the White Sox on Mother's Day in Chicago. 2 hits in 5 1/3. He was hit a lot harder over his next 2 starts. 15 hits in just over 10 innings. That was against the Dodgers and the Padres. This is driven out to right center. Inciarte and Parra, and it splits the gap. Rosario on the run. They will wave him in. The relay from Aaron Hill is not in time. The Rockies take a 1-0 lead, and Montero will make his case to Jerry Lane. Here comes Kirk Gibson.
Well, it certainly looked like if Mickey got the tag on Rosario, he was far enough up the third baseline. I don't believe Rosario could have gotten on the plate. Break for the Rockies there, or rather for the Diamondbacks, that one stayed in play.
Oh, is that? Well,
yeah, really tough to tell from that angle. And
he did the same thing that you talk about that Miguel Montero does sometimes, where he lifts that front leg up and doesn't actually touch the plate or the base.
Alan Trammell with the thumbs up to Kirk Gibson. They want to challenge this play at the plate.
I think you need to look not at the front leg of Rosario, which is up in the air, but the back leg.
Yeah, not sure if that front foot ever came down on home plate. It was kind of bouncing across that right-handed batter's box.
Jerry Lane in perfect position to make the call, and Kirk Gibson will challenge, so he'll take a look in New York.
And that was one play for Miguel Montero. As a catcher, you're supposed to give the runner a lane to get to at home plate. And that time he went into foul territory, giving the lane on the inside, on the infield side of home plate, so that he could come back with the ball and make that tag. See, Miggy goes into foul territory to field that throw. Plenty of a lane for Rosario to slide to.
See if the front leg touches the plate. It hits the ground, then comes up. There's the glove.
He's out.
I think he's out too. I think the glove touches him on the back before that second leg. The back leg gets home plate. Not sure he touched home plate with that front foot. They're showing the replay on the scoreboard here. Not much reaction from Rockies fans, and he is out at home. The call is overturned. The Diamondbacks win the challenge. So take the run off the board. A very well executed relay that time by the D-backs.
That was a nice play all the way around, getting to the ball quickly in the gap in right center. Watch how quickly Aaron Hill unloads this ball to home plate. No wasted motion at all. Catch it, turn, and throw. On a hop to Miggy, who's able to make the play, apply the tag, and another horrible slide. We've seen about 1 million of those already this year.
I think he caught a break because he had to sort of go into the baseline to get the ball, and as a result got there at the same time. That has scored a double for Culberson, 8-4-2 on the putout of Rosario at home. So Culberson gets a double. He goes to third on the throw, and it's 8-4-2 on the putout. So the Rockies have Culberson at third, 2 down for DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman. 2-0. Coors Field effect for DJ LeMahieu. 333 here. 250 on the road. It is remarkably consistent.
Just not going to mess around with a hitter in the 8th spot. DJ LeMahieu will be passed intentionally here. Go after Jorge De La Rosa, the pitcher.
Second walk by Anderson. And they'll work to De La Rosa. Chase Anderson, a winner over the Padres his previous start. That was last Wednesday at Chase Field. 1 earned run on 8 hits in 5 innings. And he was ahead in the count more often than not in that win over San Diego. 14 of 25 first pitch strikes. But he has walked 2 so far here, 1 intentionally.
$17 at bats for De La Rosa this season. He's punched out 8 times. He does have a couple of base hits. He has put down some sacrifice bunts, but more than likely will swing through good pitches.
Anderson 5 for 9 on first pitch strike so far. De La Rosa reaches out and fouls that one in the seats behind the Diamondback dugout, and he's down 0-2.
You know, it's hard to fault third base coach Stu Cole for sending Rosario. When you think about it, that took two perfect long throws, one from the outfield wall in right center into Aaron Hill. That was completed perfectly, and then Aaron Hill's relay onto home plate. Couldn't get rid of it any quicker than he did, right on line to the dish.
Mayhew takes off. De La Rosa fouls that one back. We'll do it again. Another look. Ender Inciarte to Aaron Hill.
I mean, these are two long throws to get that ball back into home plate. We used to always tell our third base coaches to be aggressive in this ballpark. You know, force the issue. Make them make good plays.
Mayhew running on the pitch again, and again De La Rosa fouls it off. Pitch count's getting up there a bit. He said he was going to have traffic on the bases, and so far he has. Mayhew runs, and De La Rosa strikes out, so Colorado gets a runner thrown out at home and strands two. And we are scoreless through two at Coors Field. Ender Inciarte, Aaron Hill, Miguel Montero, still no score.
Just talked with my coaches about it, talked to Ken and his staff about it, and I just really feel it's the right thing to do. Give him a little blow physically and mentally. He pushes hard. He's on the bases a lot. He runs a lot. He's played all but a couple innings, and hopefully it'll pay off for us.
Our Geico quote of the game from Kurt Gibson talking about his coaching staff, Ken Crenshaw and the training staff, all in agreement that Goldie needed a day, and today's the day.
I think a lot of fans that were out at Chase Field during that last homestand would agree. I mean, we're just seeing things from Goldie that you're not used to seeing. Now, you can gloss over them occasionally with the 500-foot home run here or there, or a 4-hit game when they roll through the infield, but he just hasn't looked like the same player we became very accustomed to watching last year. So maybe a day taking a little bit of blow from the action. He still is available. He is a secret weapon, you know.
At least tonight anyway. So defensively, the Diamondbacks have had an 8-4 putout and an 8-4-2 putout to keep this game scoreless as we start the third with Gerardo Parra, who walked his first time. Parra, Hill, Prado, top of the order against Jorge De La Rosa, the left-hander. It's odd because of the light fixtures and some of the architecture here. The last inning, the pitcher's mound was actually in shadow. Now it's back into light. You don't often see it reverse itself as the game and the day gets later, but because of the weird configuration of things and the sun setting at the angle that it does, you have that weird sunlight deal. Well, now the pitcher's mound is back out there in the light.
That's tough on the fans. Those people sitting down the first baseline past the end of the Rockies dugout, they have to shade their eyes to see what's going on out there on the field.
Yeah, you get your season seats down there, down the first base line. Look at them. Look at all the arms. You bring your shades. 3-0 on Parra. There's a strike. This is a big ballpark.
Hey fans, when the Diamondbacks win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every D-backs win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Parra's already been on base once after the leadoff walk, so he has now reached safely in 27 of his last 29 games. That's what you want from your leadoff man. 3-2 is looked at, and he's aboard again. A pair of bases on balls so far for Parra. And De La Rosa's now walked him twice.
He was able to pitch around that leadoff walk to start the ball game back in the first inning. He can pay this time.
Aaron Hill singled his first time. And Aaron has always hit well in this ballpark. A .333 career average in 22 games here. That includes 13 extra base hits. Find a gap. Why the Diamondbacks are in particularly good shape, I think, Bob, in this series with Ender Inciarte out there, because he can really go get the balls in the gaps.
Yeah, defense is at a premium in this ballpark. You need outfielders that can cover ground, strong enough arm to make that long throw back into the infield that we saw on that perfectly executed relay. Yeah, he should really enjoy playing here. Guys that can run like Ender Inciarte like big ballparks.
Chop to third, Culberson and Mayhew. Morneau, they turn the double play. Charlie Culberson just filling in over there, but so far so good at third base. Two down for Martin Prado. Prado is first AV, line one down to third that Culberson snared to take away a base hit. And Martin had a great series when the Diamondbacks were here earlier this year. He went 5 for 12 in 3 games. Strike one. That's a tough way to watch a game. Reminds me of Wacona Park in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Way out in the western part of the state in the Berkshire Mountains. Wacona Park was built about the time they signed the Declaration of Independence. And they built it, of course, there were no night games in those days. In Wacona Park, the sun sets in center field, and they have sun delays where the batter looks directly into the sun. They have to they play 1 inning or so, an inning and a half, and then they have to shut things down for about 20 minutes.
Same thing used to happen in Ogden, Utah when they were in the Pacific Coast League. Backdoor cutter that time for a strike. Yeah, you just had to stop the game, wait for the sun to sink down behind the fence, and then resume action.
1-2.
That's got to be tough on the rotator cuff to sit there all night holding your arm up at that funky angle trying to shield your eyes.
A few fans here have had to have Tommy John, in fact, I think.
Doc, I don't know what it is. My right shoulder lately.
It hurts when I do that.
Yeah, I went to the Rockies series against the Diamondbacks, and I don't know what happened.
2-2.
Oh. Sounded like it got him on the outside of that left foot.
Maybe right on the toe. Let's see.
De La Rosa likes to work that two-seamer inside, or rather the cutter inside to right-handers, the two-seamer away. Yeah, got him on that left foot. This is about as erratic as we've seen Jorge De La Rosa. Usually his command is pretty good. He hits his spots. He keeps the ball out of the middle of the plate, but yet keeps it around the corners. He's been spraying it around pretty good tonight.
He has walked 2 and hit a batter. And so Prado is a 2-out base runner for Miguel Montero, who popped up his first time. Yeah, if there's a Coors Field effect for the Rockies hitters, it has not shown up in De La Rosa this year. He has found a way to succeed in this ballpark. He is 3-0 in 5 starts at Coors Field this year. His ERA in this ballpark this season is under 2.5. All 3 of his losses this year have come on the road. One and one. Kind of a late strike call there by Jerry Lane. De La Rosa last 7 starts, 6-0 with a 1.80 ERA. He has given up only 27 hits in his last 40 innings. And in fact, only one pitcher in Rockies history has ever had a better month of May than the one Jorge De La Rosa just had.
I'll tell you, De La Rosa shows up on some lists you might be surprised. Home ERA going back to the beginning of the 2011 season. Verlander pitches in a big ballpark. Same for Felix Hernandez, Madison Bumgarner. Nationals Park, if you hit it in the right place, it'll jump. But no better hitters park on that list than Coors Field, and De La Rosa with a 2.69 home ERA.
It is odd. 2-1.
In his career, he's 26 games over 500 here at Coors Field. 10 under on the road.
He's gone to 3 balls on Montero now after walking Parra and hitting Prado. Cody Ross on deck. Big gap in right center field for Miggy.
Elevating in this ballpark is always a dangerous proposition, but that time De La Rosa gets away with a belt-high fastball up and out over the plate.
Really having trouble with the command now. 40 pitches, only 21 for strikes. 3-2, 2 outs. Prado will be off with a pitch at first. That's out of play.
Just what you want when you've been hitting the foot by a pitch. Run a few sprints down there to second base.
Run it off.
Keep it loose.
Now all the infielders for the Rockies are in the sunlight. All the outfielders are in the shade. Another 3-2 to Montero. There goes Prado. That is inside ball 4. That's 3 walks and a hit batter for De La Rosa through 2 2/3. Diamondbacks had 2 on with no outs in the first, could not get a run home. They had a runner at third with 1 out in the second, couldn't get a run home. And now with 2 outs, they have 2 on in the third for Cody Ross. Cody hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. And Cody up there right now, 2 for his last 21. There's a strike. A look back to Jerry Lane. He's calling a lot of those inside strikes to the right-hand hitters.
Cody Ross has been the best Diamondbacks hitter against De La Rosa in his career, coming into tonight 11 for 32. That's a .344 average with a couple of home runs.
And he's always been an excellent hitter against left-hand pitching. Cody this year 304 against left-handers. There are the numbers against De La Rosa. He was the best in the league against lefties last year. He hit 391 against left-hand pitching last season. Prado the runner at second, Montero at first. That's in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. Chopped over the mound. LeMahieu behind the bag at second makes a nice play. And De La Rosa strands two. Bottom three coming up, no score. Here it's happening all around us, so fans, grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and some friends and head over to a participating Bash's location. Visit Pepsi displays for your chance to win a flyaway trip to see the D-backs on the road. Now through June 10th, Pepsi, taste Cherry's Wild Side, official soft drink of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I know you dig this. Charlie Blackmon's walk-up music.
That is it, man. The outfield.
Maybe that's the key to his season. I don't know. Been hitting over 300 all year, 10 home runs. We mentioned he leads the team in RBIs out of the leadoff spot.
That's just a great little walk-up chant. Blackmon walked his first time. A lot of Diamondbacks were at the Billy Joel concert at U.S. Airways Center on Sunday in Phoenix. Yeah, I was surprised you weren't there. Big concert guy.
Yeah. Been there, done that. Seen Billy Joel. Very good show. I'm sure it was outstanding. I know you were there with Cindy. And
unbelievable. Unbelievable. A lot of Diamondbacks staffers were there. We had a guy behind us. You always get one guy.
The guy.
And Billy Joel played every hit. Every name of Billy Joel song he played. All right, he's just banging it out there for about 2.5 hours. Here's the 2-1. But there's a guy behind us at the end of every song. He would stand up behind us and go, Allentown! Allentown! No. And you reach the point where I hope he just plays it so this guy will sit down.
Please play it.
And eventually, of course, he did. And we're living here in Allentown. 2-2. Slow roller to first. Nick Evans. Underhand toss to Anderson. One away.
At least he wasn't screaming free bird. The right artist, anyway.
Would have had to leave. Michael Kadire. Kadire hit a line drive to right center, on which Gerardo Parra made a terrific diving grab to take a base hit away in the first. And you mentioned, Bob, we might see Kadire at third base in this series at some point. Over the weekend at Cleveland, got his first starts over there since July of 2010, filling in for the injured Nolan Arenado. Started 2 games at third against the Indians. He's down 0-2. This was Parra against Kadire back in the home half of the first.
Line drive kind of tailing back toward Gerardo as he made his way into that gap in right center. I love the awareness, looking up right away to see where the runner is. I love stuff like that. That's why Parra occasionally will double off a runner who's slow getting back to the bag.
Prado on the short hop at third. Evans backs up into that sun. That's a tough play for Nick Evans right there, because the throw is backing him up at the bag, looking into that sunset, with Kadire, a big dude, coming down the line.
Look at it from the third base side of the field as Prado comes in, smothers that one on a short hop. You see Nick Evans backed into foul territory. Nice footwork over there around the bag to move into foul territory, keep that ball out of the sun, and make the catch.
I mean, that's what he's looking into, trying to catch that ball, with Michael Kadire bearing down on him at full speed. Justin Morneau. 51 pitches for Chase Anderson, 31 for strikes. It's 2-0. Morneau, 8 of his 10 homers this year have come against right-hand pitching, so be careful. And already 50 starts this year for Justin Morneau, and based on his concussion history, there is some discussion here about how long the Rockies can continue playing him over there so often. He's been extremely dependable, which is not something they counted on here. You're never quite sure, of course, given his unique injury history, what you're going to get from Justin Morneau, but so far he has been an Iron Man down there, which is wonderful to see. 3-1 is on the ground. A little roller to Aaron Hill at second. Chase Anderson works a nice tidy 1-2-3 third. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Coming up for the Diamondbacks, you'll see Chris Owings. He tripled his first time up tonight. Every history-making moment on MLB Whip Around, weeknights at 7 on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Nick Evans leads off the fourth for the D-backs against Jorge De La Rosa. Evans, Owings, Inciarte, 6, 7, and 8 in a scoreless ball game.
Trainers were just attending to Martin Prado. Got hit on the outside of that left foot with a pitch in that third inning. Kind of shoot him away as usual. Go somewhere else.
He's still talking to himself about those at bats. Evans grounded out to short his first time.
Boy, if it isn't painfully obvious at this point, home plate umpire Jerry Lane is going to call that inside pitch, even off the corner inside to right-handers. First pitch cutter about belt high, looked to be near the inside corner, maybe inside a little farther than that. And once again, the right arm goes up in the air.
I think that's because De La Rosa is a left-hander and some of his stuff is coming into the righty.
Well, that cutter working its way into the righty, and then he complements it occasionally with a two-seamer that starts off the plate inside and tails back to the corner. I think Jerry Lane just calls that inside part of the plate. That's where he's set up. He gets a real good look at that pitch over the left shoulder of Willeen Rosario.
What do they call that for the umpire? The slot or the groove or the thing? Or
the thing, I think it is, yeah.
That area where he can actually see between the hitter and the back shoulder of the catcher.
And obviously, you get a real good look at pitches on that side of the plate, but you're kind of guessing at pitches on the other side. So I think they ought to go back to the big old balloon, the big inflated chest protector that they could hide behind and sit directly behind the catcher, or directly behind the plate if the catcher happens to move. You get a real active catcher back there and moving from corner to corner, back and forth, and the umpire tries to move with him, and there are times that he's just exposed. There's really nobody in front of him from time to time. Back in the old day, you could take that big old inflatable chest protector and position yourself right behind the point of home plate.
Umpiring with a big mattress strapped to your chest. There's the strikeout. That's the first strikeout for Jorge De La Rosa. No, he's signaling foul ball.
Just got a piece of that one.
All right, we're still alive up there. 50 pitches now for De La Rosa. Only 29 for strikes. He had a big year at AAA Reno. He was tied for the Pacific Coast League RBI lead when he was called up at 335 with 11 homers. And he's playing at a similar altitude here in this series than he did in the Coast League. 1-2. This is out in the air to right and carrying on Kadire. Nick Evans has gone. A home run, Nick Evans. And the Diamondbacks take a 1-0 lead. That ball just carried over the head of Kadire and out of here. So Goldie's replacement goes yard at Coors.
Wally Pipp. Wow. Nick Evans, throughout his minor league career, has always been a guy that had good power to the opposite field, and certainly this is a ballpark you do not have to pull it to get it out of here. He hit that ball a long way into the Rockies bullpen in right field.
Can I say what you said to the crew?
Sure.
My right hand is raised right now. Bob Brenly during the commercial break said, Nick Evans home run, I'm calling it.
I'm calling it. He was so fired up this afternoon when I talked to him in the clubhouse. I just had a feeling something good was going to happen for him here tonight, filling in for Paul Goldschmidt, and he's making like Goldie, opposite field homer.
Chris Owings tripled his first time up. Here's another look at Nick Evans, his first big league action since 2011.
Held high out over the plate, just got the barrel on it. Over the 375 mark off the back wall of the bullpen out there.
It got into that wind once it got up in the air and just blows it out toward that right field corner and off the back wall. From St. Mary's High School. I think Goldie can get back into the lineup. Owings gives that a ride, and that ball is going to leave the yard. It is way out of here. Chris Owings, his fourth. The D-backs go back-to-back, and it's 2-0. That thing jumped out of here. So Owings has got himself a triple and a home run.
A couple of very well struck balls right here. De La Rosa with a cutter that just kind of stayed on the same plane, very flat, working its way to the inside part, and Chris Owings just clobbered it.
De La Rosa had only given up 7 homers in 11 starts this year, but he's given up home runs to the first 2 batters in the fourth, and here's Ender Inciarte. This one is in the air to shallow center. Blackman coming in. It drops in front, and Inciarte's aboard. 3 straight hits for the D-backs to lead off the fourth.
Now that can be considered a Coors Field effect as well. Outfielders play deep here because the ball carries so well. And occasionally when you miss-hit a ball like Inciarte does here, outfielders just don't have time to get there. It drops in front for a base hit.
And now he gives Chase Anderson a chance to bunt him over here with nobody out. Rosario wanted to throw down to first. Inciarte was well off the bag, but Morneau was crashing in to cover the bunt, and there was no one at first base.
Yeah, LeMahieu was not there yet. There is a designed pickoff play in an obvious bunt situation where LeMahieu will break early to get over there and cover the bag at first as Morneau charges.
That one is fouled off, a ball and a strike.
I haven't really seen enough of Chase Anderson to know how well he handles the bat, but this would be a perfect opportunity to take off the sacrifice and let him swing the bat, start Chris Owings at first. Rockies had infielders all over the place. There were holes everywhere with that last De La Rosa delivery.
We'll see how shallow Charlie Blackman is in center field. That one is fouled off, and now it's 1-2.
Both corner infielders charging. DJ LeMahieu's covering first base. Tulowitzki's covering second base. Anywhere but right back to the pitcher, and you probably get a base hit.
Long look by Rosario into the Rocky dugout. Still hasn't called anything yet. Now finally sends it out to De La Rosa. 1-2 with Inciarte at first. Anderson squares to bunt. Pops it up down the line. Gets it down though. Morneau with the tag. Inciarte to second. That's the first out.
Highest percentage of runs allowed from the homer this season. The Brewers pacing the way in the National League. The Rockies in second place. Diamondbacks in fourth.
Gerardo Parra has been up twice and walked twice. Home runs by Evans and Owings to lead off the fourth. Inciarte a bloop single. He's at second with 1 out for Parra. And Parra has played here a lot, obviously, over the years. NL West, the whole thing. 80 games at Coors Field. He has hit .308 here with 30 extra base hits. So this is a good ballpark for him.
It certainly goes without saying that you can never have too many runs at Coors Field. 2-run lead is nice, but keep adding on.
Behind Rosario, can find that Inciarte is easily into third.
That'll go down as a wild pitch on De La Rosa. A half-hearted effort that time by Willeen Rosario. Just tried to reach across his body and pick it with the backhand, coming up out of his crouch as he did so.
And he has improved defensively. There's no question about that, but it is still very much a work in progress. So anytime the D-backs have a base runner at third, you need to be hyper aware of where the baseball is, because oftentimes Rosario will lose track of it. Diamondbacks so far 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Inciarte at third with 1 out. Rockies infielders are in on the grass. Well, he cannot throw a strike to Gerardo Parra. I'm pretty sure all 10 pitches that he has faced have been balls. Yep, so far De La Rosa 0 for 10 in trying to throw a strike to Gerardo Parra tonight. And sure enough, a whammy.
Well, they got a good pitch to hit. Gibby likes to turn his guys loose when they're ahead in the count. That's a middle of the plate fastball right there. That's time to let it go. And by let it go, I mean let the bat go. Swing it. Counts in your favor. You got him in a situation where you're expecting a fastball. You get it in the strike zone. Put a good aggressive swing on it.
2-1 is bounced in the hole at second. LeMahieu makes a terrific play, but no chance to get Inciarte, who comes in and scores the third run of the game. RBI for Parra. And LeMahieu did the same thing on that play, Bob, that Parra did on his play against Kadire. Looked up immediately, but realized there was no chance to get the run at home.
Yeah, once he left his feet, he has no chance of getting the speedy ender Inciarte at home plate. It did take a base hit away from Gerardo Parra that time.
They get the run home. 3-0 now with 2 outs. Base is empty for Aaron Hill. Aaron has singled and hit into a double play, 1 for 2. And this is uncharted territory for Jorge De La Rosa in this ballpark against the Diamondbacks. 8-0 in 10 starts here against the D-backs with a 1.79 ERA. But he's down now 3-0. He is facing the Diamondbacks for the second time this year. He pitched against the D-backs in his second start this season. That was back on April 5th, lasted only 4 1/3. And through 101 pitches, he was all over the place in that ball game. Got a no decision in what turned out to be a 9-4 Rockies win. 25 pitches in this fourth, including 2 home runs allowed. Evans and Owings. De La Rosa last year 4 starts against the D-backs and was generally very effective. Only 2-2, but a 2.38 ERA. Chris Owings so far a triple and a home run in 2 at-bats. 2-2 to Aaron Hill. On the ground in the hole, Culberson charges and throws him out. But for the 3rd time this season, the D-backs go back-to-back. Evans and Owings in the 4th. 2 home runs and an RBI ground out by Parra have made it 3-0 D-backs.
Sox game, did attend a World Series game, but said it really hasn't dawned on him until he was driving to Chase Field to go to work for his hometown team, what this really meant. Obviously looking forward to getting a couple of at-bats outside of Aroldis Chapman. Kirk Gibson saying as much as well, but also the understanding this is not a 22 or 23-year-old young player. This is a 28-year guy who's been around, gets it, lost a year to injury. He knows he has to make the most of this opportunity and be ready for just about anything.
Well, so far so good, Todd. That's for sure, as Troy Tulowitzki swings at the first pitch. Little blader into center, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. So Tulowitzki aboard to lead off the Colorado fourth against Chase Anderson. Yeah, Nick Evans drove it out of here. His first home run in the major leagues since September 3rd, 2011, when he was with the Mets at the Nationals. Chase Anderson into immediate trouble here. Tulowitzki aboard, and now he'll work to Cargo. Gonzalez tapped back to the mound his first time.
Obviously a big inning to put up a 0 for Chase Anderson. His team finally broke through against Jorge De La Rosa here at Coors Field. Put a 3 spot on the board. Get him back in the dugout quickly, swinging those bats again.
He had retired 4 straight, worked a nice tidy 13-pitch third inning. Tulowitzki's aboard to lead off the fourth, and he's behind on Gonzalez 2-0. Gonzalez 4 home runs in his first 10 games this year. He got off to a great start, but since then he has hit less than .230 over his last 41 games. He has limped through much of this season. Nagging injuries. He's always had those, but this year the left knee began flaring up almost immediately. He's had to play with that on and off before, but this year it's been a bigger issue for him. And he's had a left index finger injury that swells up from time to time. He's been limping around with a bad calf over the last week or so. So you name it, he's got it.
Other than that, he feels pretty good.
Terrific. 2-1.
For every player at this level, especially the everyday guys, you get to a point in the season where you realize I'm not going to be 100% the rest of the year. Something is always going to be bothering. A calf strain, a foul ball off your ankle, overextend on a throw and have your elbow start barking a little bit, get hit by a pitch. You just get to the point where, you know, if it's not a serious injury to put you on the disabled list, you just grit your teeth, get some treatments, and go out there and play.
The overshift is on for Cargo. 3 infielders on the right side, and he strikes out. First out in the fourth, and that is the second strikeout for Chase Anderson.
Once again, normally a dangerous area to go, especially against Carlos Gonzalez, a guy that has tremendous power. Up in the zone, swings right through it.
Willian Rosario, single his first time up, was thrown out at home on a perfectly executed relay by the D-backs. Inciarte, Hill, and Montero initially called safe when he tried to score from first on a Culberson double. Diamondbacks challenged, and the call was overturned out at home, and the run came off the board.
I might have to get another color on my pen to put down the challenges.
Good thinking.
I got red for strikeouts, green for walks, blue for RBI, but yeah, those challenge calls, it helps to know exactly when it occurred. I have to get a 5-color pen.
Send your pens to Bob Brenly, care of Chase Field. No pitch there, says Jerry Lane. Time was granted. Yeah, you learn on these close plays not to write anything in the scorebook until somebody looks at a monitor. And then you can commit to ink. One out, Tulowitzki at first. You want to be careful with Rosario. He's got great power, 21 homers last year. Led all National League catchers for the second straight season. He hit 28 homers 2 years ago. '79 RBIs last year, a record for a Rockies catcher. There's a strike, 2-1.
One of the things that made Rosario so dangerous last year is he hit the ball all over the ballpark. You couldn't really classify him as a dead pull hitter. The swings we've seen in this game tonight, it looks like he's trying to pull the ball. He's looking for something middle of the plate in, steps in the bucket just a little bit, which should open up that outside part of the plate.
That's a term you use a lot, the bucket.
I don't know where that came from. I just appropriated it over the years, but stepping in the bucket rather than step directly back toward the pitcher or even close up a little bit, you step down that third baseline.
Kirk Gibson, wondering if that was a swing or did they lost track of the count perhaps. There was a pitch in the AB that was ruled no pitch. Now remember, counting is subject to review. You can use review for record keeping, ball and strike counts, outs, scores, substitutions, a rules check. And he has requested, it looks like. I'm not sure if this is a challenge or not. We'll find out in a moment, but he has at least requested that they take a look at, it appears to be, the count. This is under the category of record keeping. Alan Trammell talking with Diamondbacks video coordinator Alan Campbell. Now we have an umpire in the dugout. I think they're down a headset actually, which is why they're using the dugout phone to communicate with the press box here at Coors Field.
I think it was 2-0 because Chase Anderson threw a changeup on the 2-0 count to get the called strike, and then we just saw the swing and a miss at a pitch up and out over the plate. I think it's 2-2.
They check with the press box and then get back on the headsets. And the crew chief always has to be involved, but in this case it is the plate umpire Jerry Lane.
Now this shouldn't take this long.
Well, I would actually argue that it might take longer because you have to go through the entire sequence to be sure of the count. And I think that's what they're doing right now back in New York. Baseball Advanced Media Headquarters, or BAM as it's known. And it looks like they have added it all up. Is he saying 2-1? I think he's saying 2-1. Nope, 2-2.
Yeah, it's got to be 2-2. The 2-0 pitch was taken for a called strike, and then the swing and a miss.
Record keeping is subject to review. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Willie Rosario, the hitter, with Troy Tulowitzki at first. I hope you weren't writing your pitches in ink.
No.
This is in the air out to right. Easy play for Gerardo Parra. Light sky, though. And Tulowitzki back to the bag at first. Brings up Charlie Culberson, who doubled his first time. So Anderson trying to strand that leadoff single. Denver, Colorado. Just beautiful here today, although a little hotter than they're used to. Sun setting at Coors Field. Strike 1. Culberson's a guy with an opportunity for the Rockies. He has played mostly outfield here. But with Arenado hurt and a lot of depth in the outfield, he's become an infield utility man. He's made starts at shortstop, at third, and at second.
I like his glove on the infield. That's part of the reason he started tonight behind Jorge De La Rosa, a left-handed pitcher. A lot of action on that left side of the infield. And Walt Weiss wanted to get his best defense on the field on that left side. We used to do the same thing with Randy Johnson. On days of big unit pitch, we knew he was going to throw that slider down and into a lot of right-handed hitters. If they made contact, more than likely it was going to go to the left side of the field. So I always made sure to have Matty and Tony Womack in there on days RJ pitched.
Their other option while Arenado was hurt has been Kadire, but Culberson is the better defender there for sure. 0-2. In the hole at third. Nice play by Prado. They get the force on Tulowitzki. And Anderson strands that leadoff single. Through 4, the Diamondbacks lead at 3-0. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Prado, Montero, and Ross in the 5th.
Is brought to you in part by Jack in the Box. If the D-backs hit a home run today, score a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow for the purchase of a large drink.
Downtown Denver, Colorado, an absolutely gorgeous night here. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Arizona. Back home in the great state of Arizona, where the D-backs lead the Rockies with 3-0. Nick Evans and Chris Owings opened up the 4th against Jorge De La Rosa with back-to-back home runs. Third time this year the Diamondbacks have done that. De La Rosa has been laboring here. He's at 69 pitches so far. 47 of those have come over the last 2 innings. 3 runs on 5 hits and 4 so far. Martin Prado, first pitch swinging, fouls it off here in the 5th. Prado has lined to third and been hit by a pitch. Prado, Montero, Ross, 3, 4, and 5. Hard to third and by Culberson. That is Galofila. Prado takes the turn and heads for second. He's in there with an easy stand-up double. That's his 10th double.
That ball was scalded just inside that third base line. He hit the line drive to third base back in that first inning right on the button. This time he finds a hole. Gets it past Culberson on down into the corner for Carlos Gonzalez. Beautiful thing, those leadoff doubles.
Prado hit that same ball in his first at-bat tonight. And he hit it right to Culberson for a hang with him out. That one is by him for a double, and here is Miguel Montero, who walked his last time up. Another chance for the D-backs to get to De La Rosa. Lifted in the air out to left. Easy play for Gonzalez. That's the first out here in the 5th. Hey fans, it's that time. Tweet us your photo using the hashtag AZFanPhoto for your chance to have your photo shown in our game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T.
Boy, Miggy really upset with himself after that one pitch at bat. Lazy fly ball into left field. No chance for Martin Prado to tag in advance. I mean, you get to a 2-strike count, you might have to swing at a pitch like that and just try to put it in play. But hey, earlier in that at bat, you should be looking for something you can pull hard to right field. Ideally, drive Prado in with a base hit to right field. At worst, move him up to third base.
Here's a question for you. I just got a note from a fan on the Twitter about the placement of Cody Ross's hands. And looking at Cody, it does seem a little different.
Well, they're right there at the end of his arms. I don't know what the problem is.
They haven't moved. It looks like a little lower. Maybe trying to get quicker to the ball. Let's see if we can
get De La Rosa to get a sign here so we can see where his hands end up.
Take a look.
That's probably the most common adjustment that hitters make, is moving their hands up, down, back a little further in your stance. Yeah, he usually has them back there over that right shoulder.
Yeah, he has lowered his hands and dropped them down a bit.
Following that theme that a lot of guys on the Diamondbacks have followed this year, simplify. You know, if you start with your bat back there on your right shoulder, like Goldie and Aaron Hill, and a little bit like Cody Ross used to, and then you're going to drop them down into the slot and you struggle, why not go ahead and put your hands in the slot where they're going to end up anyway?
I'm going to give a big shout out to Nico, who reached out on the Twitter with a question about that.
Good catch, Nico.
Nice work. Have to sign him up for some advanced scouting. De La Rosa behind 3-0.
Well, and you mentioned advanced scouting, and those are the kind of things advanced scouts look for. You know, Cody Ross maybe hasn't been swinging the bat. He's not getting to inside fastballs, but in the first game of the Rockies series, we noticed he has his hands down a lot lower. Looks like he's ready to get that inside pitch.
5 3-ball counts in the game for De La Rosa. That's a strike, 3-1. He has walked 3. Nick Evans, who homered in his last at bat, is on deck.
These guys need flashcards. This is ridiculous.
De La Rosa can be temperamental out there. Saw this last year when they had Yorvi Torrealba. He was the guy that sort of calmed De La Rosa down. Almost threw that into center field.
That's a very awkward pickoff attempt. Some guys can do that step off and turn to your arm side and still make a strong enough throw to get. I mean, look at that. That's a tough throw to make right there. Usually you see that spin around completely, turn your back to the target, spin around so that your arm is in a better throwing position.
Rockies have about 3 or 4 relievers limbering up out there. Nobody throwing yet. 3-1 to Cody. There goes Prado. Takes off for third. Stolen base for Martin Prado. That's his first this year.
Talk all the time about picking up your teammates, and Martin Prado right there picks up Miguel Montero. Miguel wasn't able to advance him on to third base or drive him in, so Martin Prado picks his spot, takes off for third base, and now he is 90 feet away from a run with 1 out in the inning.
And once again, the Rockies infield will come in on the grass with a Diamondback runner at third. 3-2 to Cody. Sky high, very light sky. Tulowitzki's got a beat on it, and that's the second out. It's tough to find a baseball up there right now. Let's take a look at Cody Ross's hands before and after.
Just a little bit lower, maybe a little bit more forward in his stance. And when we talk about adjustments for a hitter, they're so small. you don't want a guy to suddenly go from holding his hands way above his right shoulder to hold him down by his belt. Usually it's very small tweaks.
Nick Evans, first pitch swinging, left center field. Gonzalez, a long run for Cargo, but he tracks that one down to the gap. And they strand Prado at third. It stays 3-0 D-backs. At bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. You'll get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, a free MLB.TV game of the day, and a whole lot more. Download on the App Store or visit dbacks.com. Good crowd here on a gorgeous night in Denver, Colorado. Chase Anderson has a 3-0 lead as he starts the whole half of the fifth. DJ LeMahieu leads it off. LeMahieu was intentionally walked his first time up with the pitcher behind him, and De La Rosa, who has labored through 5 innings so far, is in the on-deck circle. LeMahieu, a 5-game hitting streak. But prior to that streak, he had been slumping. He was in a 1-for-19. So he's been up and down somewhat this year. This is well hit to left. And gone. DJ LeMahieu, his second. Rockies on the board. It's 3-1. On the road, a .250 hitter. Here at Coors Field, better than .330. The Coors Field effect.
That's really been the only knock on LeMahieu's game, is the fact he doesn't have a lot of power for a big guy. He blasts this one out of here to left field. Got a hanger on the inside part of the plate from Chase Anderson, and gets the Rockies on the board.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 205, DJ LeMahieu. And his second this year makes it a 3-1 ball game, and here is Jorge De La Rosa. He struck out his first time. 4th home run in 4 starts given up by Chase Anderson. Rockies looking for some offense. They limped back from their road trip back home. And this is the first time they've played in this ballpark since May 22nd. They went 2-7 on a 9-game roadie. Finished up with a 3-game sweep at Cleveland. De La Rosa strikes out for the second time. That's 3 strikeouts for Anderson, 1 down here in the 5th.
They got shut out twice in Atlanta. First stop on that road trip. Lost 2 out of 3 there. Went to Philadelphia. Lost 2 out of 3 in Philly. Well, actually, I stand corrected. They got shut out once in Atlanta, once in Philly. But, boy, you look at this Rockies offense, at least what we've seen of this Rockies offense this year, it's hard to believe they would ever get shut out.
Yeah, they lost Sunday's game in Cleveland on a Michael Bourne walk-off homer in the 9th. So they left with a bitter taste after a 2-7 trip. But looking to get fat and happy here at Coors. They trail at 3-1. They are 12-21 on the road, the Rockies. 16-7 at home. Anderson is ahead of Blackman 0-2. And Eric Young, who knows a thing or two about leading off and hitting with power from this spot, says that Charlie Blackman up there, opposing pitchers, he's a tough matchup because you just can't coast a BP fastball in there just to kind of get things started, get things moving. You have to challenge Blackman immediately because he will take you deep, Ewok says.
A lot of leadoff hitters, not so much nowadays, but certainly back in the day. Little guys that sprayed it around. That one to Nick Evans at first. He'll shovel to Emerson for the out. Hey, you just pitch him up and out over the plate, let him hit it at the air, the opposite field. One down, go to work on the number 2 hitter.
This guy will take you out of here. 10 homers. Here's Kadire 0 for 2. Kadire's another one of these guys feeling the Coors Field effect. 100-point improvement in this ballpark versus his batting average on the road. When he won the batting title last year, Kadire hit .356 here and .311 on the road. Coors Field effect. Got a 100-point difference for Kadire. Some of these guys, it's a 200-point difference. This is away there, a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, part of what made Kadire so good last year was hitting the ball to all fields. He would spray it from foul line to foul line with authority.
Chris Owings behind the bag, spins and throws. Another nice play by the Diamondbacks rookie shortstop. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And oh, by the way, his bat ain't bad either. So far tonight, a triple and a home run. It's 3-1 D-backs. At the 6th inning, we'd mentioned the bad knee that Carlos Gonzalez has had lately, in addition to the sore calf, and he's been replaced in left field by Corey Dickerson. So Cargo is out of the game, and Dickerson is the new left fielder. So far, so good in his first Coors Field test for Chase Anderson. He has worked 5 innings, given up only 4 hits and 1 run. And the D-backs head into the 6th with a 3-1 lead. Chris Owings, 2 for 2 so far. He tripled his first time up. And then homered in the 4th, his 4th of the year. He's about 10 rows back and left.
That's the 2 toughest wheels of the cycle, if you will, out of the way already. Great doubles park here.
Yeah. And De La Rosa about to throw his 80th pitch as we start the 6th. Just absolutely great weather. This is a great downtown area, lower downtown, to walk around a nice night like this. Right to LeMahieu at second, 1 away.
Good solid contact once again. Stays right on a pitch out over the plate. Unfortunately, hits it right at the Rockies second baseman. He gets some fist bumps when he gets back to the dugout.
Well, CO hit under 220 last month. So you look at this ball game tonight and you have to be encouraged. 3 really well hit balls so far. Ender Inciarte. He singled his last time up and scored a run. So he has now hit safely in 5 of his last 6 games. And you wondered if we'd see some offense from Enders. Arm has been terrific, covers a ton of ground out there in the outfield. Lately, he's been a hitter up there. One and one.
Ender had himself a tough at bat against Aroldis Chapman in that last series back at Chase Field against the Reds. A lot of guys have tough ABs against Chapman.
A check swing blooper over the head of Culberson and in foul ground. Yeah, that cannot be an easy at bat for a left-hand hitter when from the left side he got 102 and 103 coming at you. Kirk Gibson was asked about that. Why not hit, Cody Ross or somebody, Chris Owings maybe for Inciarte in that spot, but he didn't like the matchup for Cody and wanted to save CO as a pinch runner. 1 and 2. But over the last few games, we've seen Ender get his first big league extra base hit, first big league RBIs. He's got a single and a run scored tonight. This is inside and it's full, 3 and 2.
Love to get him on right here ahead of Chase Anderson. Give Gibby the option of having Anderson put down a sac bunt again. He was able to do so back in that 3-run 4th inning.
That appears to be the discussion right there. Three-2 is tapped back to the mound. Easy play for De La Rosa. But Ender made it close getting up that line, 2 down.
And we've compared Ender to Tony Campana a little bit. They're both center fielders. They both run extremely well. They both cover a lot of ground defensively, and they both busted down that first baseline. Every play is bang bang at first base.
Yeah, and even if a infielder has got a relatively routine grounder hit to him, if you're deep enough, you might not throw him out. He can get up the line that quickly. One-0 by Anderson is lifted out to center. Charlie Blackmon's there, and that's the inning. Bottom 6 coming up. The first 1-2-3 inning for De La Rosa tonight. Diamondbacks lead it 3-1. At Chase Field this weekend and support the D-backs as they host the Braves come early Saturday. It's Martin Prado bobblehead night. Be one of the first 20,000 in attendance and you will get the Prado bobblehead. Hey fans, be at Chase Field this weekend and support the D-backs as they host the Braves come early this Saturday. It's Martin Prado bobblehead night. Be one of the first 20,000 in attendance and you'll get the Prado bobble courtesy of Subway Restaurants. Visit dbacks.com/tickets. And I will say that I think that's the best looking bobblehead we've seen in a long time. That is a really, really good likeness.
Very authentic. We talked about it the other day. Has the ankle guard on the left foot. Eye black. I didn't notice. Did it have the pine tar on the right shoulder?
That would be the coup de grace, as it were. To check on that.
Well, you could easily modify that once you get your Martin Prado bobblehead doll home.
No pine tar on the bobblehead. Maybe we find a way to give out pine tar. I think you just put a little on the shoulder there, and then you have to attach some to the bat and the shoulder. As Justin Morneau leads off the sixth against Chase Anderson. So far, so good for Chase in his first Coors Field test. Only 1 run on 4 hits allowed through 5. He only run a DJ LeMahieu homer to lead off the last inning. He has walked 1. He has struck out 3. He's at 88 pitches, 56 for strikes. Hard to short, right to CO. Well, the Diamondbacks have had a couple of those balls that they've hit, notably the one that Owings hit to lead off the top of the inning. That was right to LeMahieu at second, and now he returns the favor.
Position just a little bit up the middle of the field. You can't really call that a shift because he is on the shortstop side of the bag at second, but probably 3 or 4 steps closer to the middle of the field than he normally would be, and was right in the right spot.
Tulowitzki 1 for 2. He singled his last time up and was stranded on the bases. The Coors Field effect, and this is the headliner here. 521 his batting average going into tonight in this ballpark this year. 234 on the road.
So he's 1 for 2 in the ball game tonight, and his home average will go down.
He has 3 for his last 25 up there. 4 for his last 25. There's a strike. Quickly, it's 0-2. He said this week he is trying to be the best player in the game. Not cocky or anything, he says, just something that he expects of himself because he knows that he has worked hard enough to be that caliber of player. And he has played like it so far this season. I was talking to Eric Young Sr. about Tulo, and I asked EY, what's been the difference this year? Obviously, other than health, he's healthy. That's one thing. And with Tulo, that's always the chief concern. But I said, well, what's been the difference? And he said, work. This guy is the first guy here every day. And EY said it reminded him a lot of Goldie. They have a very similar work ethic. But in terms of knowing what it takes to put yourself in position to succeed, in terms of the preparation, the work, the rehab, and getting your body ready and getting your video and mind ready, Troy Tulowitzki works at it as hard as anyone in the game.
Now, we've showed you the split from Coors Field and on the road, and obviously a drastic split, but the grand total is a .350 average coming into play tonight. He's walked as many times as he struck out. He's only made 2 errors at shortstop all season long. He's only grounded into 1 double play all season. This guy's just a complete player that's having one of those years.
And he got down 0-2, and he's turned it into a battle here for Anderson. Now steps out. Leading the league in batting average, on base, and slugging. The triple slash line numbers. 0-2 is hit in the air to shallow left center. Inciarte has it. And in terms of the All-Star voting, look, tip of the cap, wag of the finger, he's got more votes than anyone else, and he deserves it.
Well, Rockies fans are notorious for coming out in large numbers to support their team at All-Star time. Tulowitzki, almost 1.5 million votes already at the shortstop position.
Corey Dickerson came into the ball game at the top of the inning to take over in left field for Carlos Gonzalez, and he will hit in Gonzalez's spot here. The news on Cargo: it is an aggravated left index finger injury, and he is day to day. So he's got the knee, he's got the calf, he's got the finger. Tonight it was the left index finger injury. And so here's Dickerson for the first time tonight at 341. Even their bench guys are hitting 340. This guy's a nice player. He has hit in 4 straight. He had a really nice month of May, hit 353 last month with 4 homers. And he is hitting over 340 against right-hand pitching this year, so be careful here.
Almost half his hits this season have gone for extra bases. And how about this? As a starter, when he starts the ball game, he's hitting 352, 5 doubles, a triple, 7 homers.
And as you said, they would probably like to play Kadire at third while Arenado is hurt, so they could get Dickerson some at-bats, because he's earned them.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a valuable weapon to have off the bench as a pinch hitter or come into the game as a double switch, but with numbers like that as a starter, you need to find some spots to get him in there more regularly.
And he is one of the few guys on this Rockies team that actually does hit just about as well on the road as he does at home. So it's not a real big Coors Field effect for Corey Dickerson. But he's behind here, 1-2. And boy, if Chase Anderson can get out of this inning, it's going to be an opportunity to feel pretty good about himself. This one is lined to right, and Parra looked like he lost it in the lights, but hangs on and makes the catch. And Chase Anderson is through 6. Gerardo Parra battling that bank of lights behind third base, but he's got it, and the D-backs have a 3-1 lead.
He's a little bit off the radar, but for many people, but he's not for us. He's invaluable. Even when he's playing, you see what he does, but the things that he does when he's not playing for his teammates and the way he looks at the game, the way he helps people, he's irreplaceable. He really is. So it's tough.
Todd Walsh back here at Coors Field. Diamondbacks manager Kirk Gibson on just what Cliff Pennington means to this team, and you see the numbers that Didi Gregorius posted in Reno, and Bob Brumley, I think you could speak to this better than anyone. That's high praise when you call somebody on a major league roster irreplaceable. And he was also asked, hey, will Chris Owings be looking over his shoulder? He said, no, but Didi's going to find a way to play, and we're going to have to give some guys some rest.
Thanks, Todd. Didi Gregorius called up today from AAA Reno. He'd been hitting well with the Aces, over 300. As the Diamondbacks lose Cliff Pennington here for a while, he's going to need thumb surgery. Gerardo Parra has walked twice, had an RBI ground out his last time up, 0 for 1. Jorge De La Rosa back out there for the 7th at 90 pitches now. He has retired the last 6 he's faced. So he has settled in a bit. And there is some action in the Colorado bullpen.
Yeah, because of the pitch count, the fact the Rockies are down by 2 runs in this game, I think De La Rosa is going to have a very short leash from this point forward.
See Nick Massett, the right-hander, is warming up, with Troy Hawkins stirring down there as well. 2-0 to Parra. And there for a strike, 2-1. And Gerardo Parra, if he's going to be the primary leadoff hitter this year, now that A.J. Pollock is injured, you'd like to see him be a little more selective, which is why tonight was so encouraging. The walk rate for Parra is the lowest it's been since 2010. And he squeaks that one through the infield. It's by Culberson and into short left field. So Parra's aboard for the 3rd time tonight. It's exactly what you want from your leadoff man.
Boy, and you love that swing with the third baseman drawn in to protect against a possible bunt. You can see Culberson in a step in front of the baseline. Just slaps it right by him. No time to react. Barely got leather on it. Just slowed it down. Gerardo Parra on for the 3rd time tonight.
They rule it a base hit for Parra. Leadoff man aboard. Here's Aaron Hill. Aaron singled in the 1st. He's 1 for 3. De La Rosa, 92 pitches. It has been a laborious night for him. A lot of traffic on the bases. And boy, you've got to be pleased, Bob, with Chase Anderson. He's retired 6 in a row. He's worked 6 innings, given up just 1 run on 4 hits.
Well, this is Chase's longest outing this season at the major league level. Right around 5 innings every time out there, getting that extra inning tonight and possibly more. When you've got 3 games to play at Coors Field, the more you can rest that bullpen, the better.
Evan Marshall is throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. And lately, Kirk Gibson has shown an inclination to go Marshall 7th, Ziegler 8th, Reed 9th. And so we'll see if that's it or not for Chase Anderson, who has retired the last 6 he's faced. And he goes right to the source, Bronson Arroyo. 99 pitches for Chase Anderson. His high pitch count for the year had been 95. Tulowitzki on the short hop, and the Rockies turn a beauty. Troy Tulowitzki, a terrific turn to that double play. LeMahieu, some more no, and quickly 2 outs.
Pretty nicely done. That's a tough double play. Anytime the middle infielder steps up in front of the bag to field the ball, obviously you've got to turn around and flip it behind you. That time Tulowitzki executed perfectly. LeMahieu got himself into a position where once he caught that ball, he was ready to throw on to first base.
Second double play tonight, into which Aaron Hill is hit, and now with nobody on and 2 outs, it's Martin Prado, who doubled his last time up. Prado has sent 2 liners down to 3rd of the ball game. One was right to Culberson. That was back in the 1st. The other was by Culberson and down the left field line for his 10th double. He's also been hit by a pitch tonight.
So De La Rosa changeup, one of the better ones he's thrown in this game. Started on the outer 3rd of the plate, just kind of faded away from Prado.
98 pitches for Jorge De La Rosa, 58 for strikes. He has walked 3 and hit a batter. Chopped to third, Culberson. Stretch time at Coors Field. D-backs lead the Rockies 3-1. He is in line for his 4th win so far. 1 run on 4 hits and 6. He has walked 2, struck out 3, and he is our APS Energy All-Star.
Yeah, for the most part tonight, partner, he was able to avoid solid contact, and when the Rockies did hit some balls hard, they were right at defenders, with the exception of the DJ LeMahieu homer to left field. I thought Chase Anderson pitched a great game tonight.
His high pitch count for the year had been in 95. That was 2 starts ago against the Dodgers. 98 tonight. And his night is over after 6 innings. They will turn it over to the bullpen, and here is the rookie right-hander, Evan Marshall. Diamondbacks bullpen, by the way, the last few weeks has been the best in baseball. Over the last 14 games, or since May 17th, D-backs relievers have worked to a 1.52 ERA. That is the best bullpen ERA in all of baseball over that span. So it's up to Marshall here to put up a clean 7th.
And that coincides with the fact as David Peralta takes over for Cody Ross in left field. It coincides with the starters getting deeper into the ball game. So you're not having to run relief pitchers out there in the 2nd or 3rd or 4th inning of a ball game. Call down to the pen and just ask who can give me an inning instead of using the guys the way they're meant to be used.
Rosario, first pitch down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Peralta plays it off the carom. And the Rockies catcher is in at second with a leadoff double. That's his 2nd hit tonight, his 8th double this year.
Like a changeup up and out over the plate to Rosario. He's able to keep it fair down into that left field corner.
So Marshall is in immediate trouble with 1 pitch, brings up Charlie Culberson, who doubled back in the 2nd.
I was never really enamored with that first pitch changeup. What are you changing up from? I mean, as far as Willeen Rosario knows, that was just a bad nothing fastball. Up and out over the plate.
Well, you've got Marshall, a guy that throws 95 with heavy sink. Instead, it's a changeup on the first pitch. And there's a ball to Culberson.
Now, if there's a past history of Evan Marshall that faced Willeen Rosario, 20 or 30 times in their career, and maybe Rosario had ambushed some first pitch fastballs and you want to start him with a changeup, well, yeah, that's probably appropriate then.
Chopped right back to the mound. Marshall knocks it down, looks Rosario back to the bag, and recovers nicely to throw out Culberson. And that's the first out here in the 7th.
Fields that cleanly. They might have had a play at second base, but Evan Marshall does exactly the right thing. Just look Rosario back to the bag, get the out at first base. Outs, take outs right now.
DJ LeMahieu homered his last time up, his 2nd of the year. Pitcher spot is due up next for the Rockies, and Brandon Barnes is in the on-deck circle. He's been a nice acquisition for them, coming over from the Houston Astros. 1-0 to LeMahieu. This was DJ LeMahieu leading off the 5th against Chase Anderson. The only run given up tonight by Chase, who worked 6 innings. Gave up only 4 hits. This is inside, 2 balls and a strike. Oliver Perez, the left-hander, begins to throw. Get Blackman. '96, 2-2.
Blows that right by LeMahieu. Fastball elevated out over the plate. I've mentioned it several times tonight. Dangerous area to go to, but not when you're throwing 96 with some late movement.
Now might be the time for that changeup.
Yeah, bounce it down there in the dirt somewhere. Maybe get him to chase. Definitely don't want to throw it in the strike zone. Another heater.
95 right by him. Evan Marshall not messing around out there. And that's the 2nd out.
Well, Evan Marshall told us soon after he had been called up that he doesn't ever remember a time he threw this many off-speed pitches. And when you see that kind of sinker, oh no, what is this? Oh, it could be just a scouting report. I saw Evan Marshall bent over at the waist and the pitching coach running the mound, and my heart stopped.
Well, it's been a tough run lately. I don't blame you.
But he just wants to review the scouting report on Brandon Barnes. With a runner in scoring position, you want to make sure that you know exactly what you want to do with this hit.
Well, Brandon Barnes has shown a flair for this year. 7 for 22 as a pinch hitter. That's a .318 average, including 2 doubles and a triple. In his first season with Colorado after coming over from Houston in the Dexter Fowler deal. They got off to a great start with the Rockies as a role player. Was hitting over .350 in early May, but as you can see, he's down at .301 now. Over his last 2 weeks, he's hit only about .170. Rosario at second, 2 down. There's strike 1. This is a right-hand hitter who hits righties well. .305 this season against right-hand pitching. More heat for Marshall. Jumps ahead 0-2. Those are not sleeves, those are tattoos. That's a lot of ink.
Pardon my ignorance, but don't they call those sleeves when you have tats like that all the way down to your wrist?
They do.
Call them sleeves.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Your street cred just skyrocketed.
Brings to mind a story, but Won't start it with 2 outs in the inning. I want to make sure to fully paint the picture.
And the tattoo story yet to come. 1-2. Got him. Evan Marshall strikes out LeMahieu and Barnes and strands that leadoff double. That D-backs bullpen, it has been outstanding lately, and Marshall steps up. 3-1 D-backs through 7. Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Cox Communications. Bundle and save with Cox. High above Denver, D-backs lead the Rockies 3-1. Fans, FoxSportsArizona.com has all your online local sports coverage. Jack McGruder explains how the D-backs' fortunes will rise or fall with their starting pitching. You can read that story right now, plus get reaction from the D-backs clubhouse. And the Suns evaluate 4 hotshot wing prospects for this month's NBA draft. All that and more, FoxSportsArizona.com. New pitcher for the Rockies as we start the 8th is the left-hander. This is Rex Brothers on for the 28th time this year.
De La Rosa done after 7 innings of work. You know, you look at his line at the end of the day. 7 hits, gave up 3 runs, 2 solo home runs. The thing that jumps out at me is the fact he didn't strike out a single opposing batter tonight.
No strikeouts. He walked 4 and hit a batter through 99 pitches. And now the lefty Brothers is in there to face Miguel Montero to lead off the game. Miggy is 0 for 2. He walked back in the 3rd. Montero, Peralta, Evans, 4, 5, and 6 in the D-backs 8th. Diamondbacks have out hit the Rockies 7-5. They lead it 3-1. There's a strike, 0-1. Brad Ziegler warming up in the Diamondback bullpen, so it appears that the Marshall, Ziegler, Reed trio is in effect. It's worked pretty well for Kirk Gibson so far. Evan Marshall in the 7th with the lead, Brad Ziegler in the 8th, and Addison Reed to close. Third base, backhand stop by Culberson, long throw, and he gets Montero one away. Well, fans, it's that time again. The AT&T fan photo. Thanks to all of you who sent us your pictures on the Twitter using the hashtag AZFanPhoto, and the winner as selected by the Brenly Committee is Christine. A lot of Diamondbacks memorabilia there, looks like, in her office.
The bobbleheads, yeah. The one on the far right looks vaguely familiar.
I think we'll see that again later this year. Thanks to Christine. And all of you who tweeted in your fan photos, brought to us by AT&T. David Peralta took over in left field for Cody Ross. There is Brad Ziegler throwing for the D-backs.
Very zen-like bullpens here at Coors Field. Very relaxing.
Well, you can really get in touch with your inner self and get some work done out there.
Commune with nature while you warm up. Played a game here, either 0-1 or 0-2. We had to actually stop the game for several minutes. Miguel Batista, who was very much a Renaissance man, wrote books, loved music, played the flute. Well, he was right at home out there in the bullpen, and he wandered over near the waterfall there and was actually in the line of sight of the batter in the box. So the umpire called timeout, and everybody in the ballpark is waving, "Hey, Miggy, get out of the way, get out of the way." And he was just oblivious. He was in his element out there among nature. Finally, the guys in the bullpen got his attention, said, "Hey, you're in the way, move."
Just sitting alongside the stream.
Yeah, just relaxing.
Peralta shoots that into the gap in left center. That gets down and rolls to the wall. Peralta can run, keep in mind, but he'll settle for the double. So David Peralta keeps on hitting. At .297 in 53 games with Double-A Mobile. 2 base hits in his major league debut, and now he's got a double.
Boy, nice approach against a left-handed pitcher, too. I mean, David Peralta coming up from Mobile, I'm sure had been facing righties and lefties on a daily basis. Did not give in an inch against Rex Brothers right there. Stayed on it, drove it to that gap in left center. First double of his career.
And an insurance run in scoring position with 1 out for Nick Evans. Nick is 1 for 3. He homered to lead off the 4th. And the homer for Nick is first since September 3rd of 2011 when he was with the Mets. D-backs led off the 4th with back-to-back homers by Evans and Owings. 3rd time this year they've had back-to-back homers. Predicted by Bob Renly, it's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game when he said, "I'm calling Nick Evans homer."
It doesn't really count unless you actually do it on the air, though. You know, telling the guys in the truck and talking to you up here in the booth, that doesn't count.
We give you credit where credit is due.
It really means something if you actually say it on the air. He's going to homer on the next pitch, and he does it. Now that counts. I mean, down there in the dugout, it's not uncommon for guys to call a home run for every batter. I'm calling it right here. He's going deep. Well, he pops out to center. Okay, I'm calling it for this guy. He's going deep.
He's trying to get some good mojo going, that's all.
Well, you hit a couple out of 100, and you feel like you're doing something.
Told you.
Yeah, I told you.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Nick Evans. Getting the start tonight for Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie getting the day off. Peralta at second after a 1-out double. Evans strikes out, 2 down. The secret weapon. Chris Owings tripled and then homered in his first 2 at-bats. His last time up, he had a rocket right to LeMahieu at second for the out. So he should, by all rights here, be going for the cycle. 3 very well-hit balls by CO tonight.
You know, there are times when you have a weapon, as Nick Massive warms up for the Rockies in their bullpen, like Goldie, available off the bench tonight. I mean, it's not like you're going to surprise Walt Weiss with Paul Goldschmidt, but, you know, if you hide him up the tunnel, don't let him stand up there on the top step with a bat in his hand.
That's a fair ball down the right field line. Peralta will score, and Chris Owings has his third extra base hit tonight. He is now a single shy of the cycle. And it's 4-1 D-backs. A pair of eighth-inning doubles.
Boy, I love this kind of a night for any hitter, but especially for Chris Owings. He pulls a home run to left field. He pulls a ball in the gap in left center. He hit a line drive right at LeMahieu at second base, and now a line drive down the right field line. How do you defend a guy that sprays the ball from foul line to foul line like that?
He tripled in the second, homered in the fourth. He has doubled in the eighth. Ender Inciarte, 1 for 3. He singled and scored in the fourth.
Just to get back to that point, sometimes you want your pinch hitter to kind of hide out of sight and then spring him on the other team at the last instant.
Aha!
Then there are occasions where you want them to see him up on that top step. Make them get some guys warming up in that bullpen.
Well, we saw Massett warming up for the Rockies. 1-1 now on Ender Inciarte. And Ender must be wondering, does anybody in this league have a right-hand pitcher? It's been a steady parade of hard-throwing lefties. One and two. Inciarte up there, 5 hits in his last 16 at bats. Misses there, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Great to see the D-backs get that insurance run home in this inning. They had the first 2 batters of the ball game reach. First and second, nobody out in the first, couldn't get a run home. They had Owings on at third after a 1-out triple in the second. Couldn't drive the run in, but they pick up the run here in the 8th. Ender Inciarte was having a very good season with AAA Reno when he got called up, hitting .312 there with 12 RBIs in 26 games. And he's looked more and more over the last week or so like the hitter he was in AAA. It was all outfield defense and the throwing arm and the base running speed when he first came up, but lately we've seen the hitterish side of Ender Inciarte. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. It's a real good at-bat by Ender against a tough lefty.
Great at bat. Find a way to get on there. That'd be an interesting decision for Walt Weiss if Ender Inciarte does reach. Paul Goldschmidt's in the on-deck circle. I'm sure would hit for the pitcher spot. Goldie is 0 for 6 against Rex Brothers with 4 strikeouts. He's never faced Nick Masson.
10th pitch of the at-bat coming up. 3-2, 2 outs. Owings at second. Here it is. It's in the air, left side. Dickerson near the seats, and he's got it. And that's the inning. But the Diamondbacks get one on Chris Owings' RBI double. Bottom 8 coming up. They lead it 4-1. action, beginning with the Indians and the Rangers on Fox Sports 1. Then it's Baseball Night in America on Fox as the Yankees take on the Royals. Our MLB doubleheader starts Saturday at noon on Fox Sports 1 and continues at 4 on Fox. Evan Marshall worked the 7th, and now Brad Ziegler is on for the 8th. It's 4-1 D-backs.
No soft landing tonight for Brad Ziegler, top of the order for the Rockies.
Charlie Blackmon. "31st appearance for Brad Ziegler, a 2.22 ERA. Blackmon walked his first time up. He has twice grounded out, 0 for 2. This guy's 2 for 3 against everybody. What, by the way, was the tattoo story?
Oh, yeah, that kind of came and went. And the reality is, upon further consideration, it was one of those you had to be there. But with the Toronto Blue Jays. And that one grounded to the right side. Should be no trouble for Aaron Hill. One down. And one of those late night games on the West Coast, and we flew to Arlington and got in at like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh.
Everybody's just dragging, walk into the hotel, and they're having some kind of a tattoo convention. So there are thousands, literally thousands of people in the hotel lobby, tattoos on their eyeballs, on their tongues, sleeves and pants, and completely covered with ink. And just, in the moment, I'm tired. I'm pretty sure we got beat the night before, and just dragging into the hotel, and we walked into that. And they had been partying pretty hard before we got there.
Nice easy bouncer right to Prado at third. They retire Kadire. So 2 ground ball outs from Brad Ziegler. What else is new? Brings up Justin Morneau. Was there an altercation of some sort?
No. We made sure that the guys who were most likely to get involved in an altercation got pushed onto the elevator and up to their rooms rather quickly.
What goes on at a tattoo convention? You just, hey, show me your arm. Yeah. Oh, wow, cool. All right.
I don't know. I didn't stick around long. I was one of the guys they pushed into the elevator.
Get Brenly out of the lobby. Here's Morneau with 2 outs.
Just some of the things you see in your travels around Major League Baseball. Everybody has this vision that it's all glamour. Well, not all the time.
Ender Inciarte. Brad Ziegler makes quick work over the Rockies in the 8th. We go to the 9th. It's 4-1 D-backs. Back at Coors Field, Diamondbacks opened up the fourth tonight. Back-to-back homers, Nick Evans and Chris Owings.
Well, you get power from an unexpected source, or sources in this case. Evans going to the opposite field. Chris Owings pulled his hard to straightaway left, and that's all Chase Anderson needed tonight.
He was terrific. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Had 3 strikeouts, only walked 2.
A lot of easy contact, which is what you're looking for in this ballpark. Keep that pitch count at a reasonable level. And we mentioned briefly at the top of the show that curveball might not be a good weapon for him tonight. I certainly wasn't counting every pitch, but I think he only threw 2 or 3 in the ball game tonight. Found a way to get by without throwing that curveball for strike 1.
That's our Gila River game summary. 99 pitches for Chase Anderson tonight, 66 for strikes. The bullpen, has been over the last several weeks, has been terrific. Evan Marshall worked the 7th. Brad Ziegler a 1-2-3-8. Setting things up for the 9th. And for the Rockies, here is the veteran LaTroy Hawkins. The Hawk on for the 22nd time this year. And it looks like Eric Chavez will lead it off, hitting for the pitcher. So Chavez, Parra, Hill, 9-1-2 with the D-backs 9th.
We talked about LaTroy Hawkins in the past when he's pitched against the Diamondbacks. Occasionally he'll use that quick pitch where he doesn't really come up into a set position. He just goes right into his delivery and fires it toward home plate, open to catch the hitter unaware.
I remember the first time we saw him this year, he did it only a handful of times. And he'll come to a set here. But then later when we saw him, he was doing it almost every other pitch. Addison Reed is warming up in the D-backs bullpen. A ball and a strike to Chavez. There is the D-backs closer. He worked 2/3 of an inning on Sunday. Bounced in the hole at second. Morneau over. Hawkins covers, 1 away. Brings up Gerardo Parra. Parra has been on base 3 times tonight. A single and 2 walks. He also has an RBI ground out. So a very productive night for Parra in the leadoff spot.
There was the abbreviated delivery. We knew we'd see it sooner or later. Sinker down there at the bottom of the zone. Our field mic picked up a couple of the Diamondbacks from the third base side. Barking at home plate umpire Jerry Lane.
The Hawk 2 down. Fans, our Chevron upcoming matchup back with you tomorrow from Coors Field here on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondback Live pregame show comes your way at 5 o'clock. Jordan Lyles for the Rockies off to a terrific start, 5-1. And Josh Colmenter. And it's going to be hard for Josh to top his performance from the last time we saw him when he faced the minimum 27. Just the second Diamondback pitcher ever to do that in a complete game after Randy Johnson. Gave up only 3 hits. Aaron Hill.
You know what we have to look forward to in the bottom half of the 9th, partner? Oh, it's got nothing to do with the scoreboard.
Oh. I was going to say, is Charlie Blackmon coming up? I can listen to the outfield again, but no.
Dinger will make an appearance behind home plate.
No, well, he only shows up when they're winning.
Well,
Dinger, the front-running mascot. You notice, they've been losing the entire game. You haven't seen Dinger anywhere. Can't find the guy. Now, if it was 4-1 Rockies, he'd be back there waving a flag. They're losing. Can't find him. And it's not easy to hide a giant purple triceratops.
Yeah. I think he's going to show up. I just have a feel. First game of the homestand.
Well, it would be big of him if he did. I like to give Dinger a hard time, but haven't seen hide nor hair of him so far. Dinger, the front-running mascot.
Dinger apparently has a really, really good agent. You know, just kind of works when he wants to, does what he feels like. You know, D. Baxter, he's hustling the whole game.
Oh,
working hard.
Before,
working
after. He's showing up at restaurants all over the valley, doing appearances, signing for kids. Dinger, look, do you see him anywhere? No. Probably a little ticked off. He didn't get invited to Baxter's birthday party over the weekend. We'll head to the ninth. Addison Reed is coming in. It's 4-1 D-backs. Bottom nine here at Coors Field, and Chase Anderson in line here to make it 4-0-4 starts. He would be the first pitcher of the major leagues to win each of his first 4 career starts since Garrett Cole, the Pirates, last year.
Jared Weaver was 7.
It's a good start. Ooh. Addison Reed on for the ninth. And they will work to Troy Tulowitzki to lead it off. And Bob, you were right on cue there. Dinger is behind the plates.
Yeah.
Being mobbed by the fans down there. All right, I give Dinger some props. See?
All of his relatives are extinct.
He's lonely.
Very lonely.
Troy Tulowitzki, 1 for 3, singled in the 4th, leading the major leagues in batting average and on-base percentage. Tulo hitting better than 500 at home this year. Looks at a strike, 1-1. Along the left field line, drifting near the seats. Peralta gives it a chase, but it's out of play.
Oh, that wind that was blowing so hard from the left field corner to the right field corner early in the ball game has pretty much died down. Well, Peralta might have a chance to run that one down. It just does sneak into the bleachers down that left field line.
The familiar Tulo chant here at Coors. A ball and 2 strikes. Well hit, left center. And gone. Troy Tulowitzki, his 15th homer. And it's a 4-2 ball game.
We saw it in the game Wade Miley pitched against the Reds the other day when he gave up the 4 home runs. When you allow major league hitters to extend their arms, bad things tend to happen. That fastball out over the outer third of the plate. Tulo got his arms extended. A line drive homer out of here to left center field.
7th home run given up by the D-backs closer this year, so it's a 2-run lead. And here's Corey Dickerson, who came into the ball game midway through, took over for Cargo and left after Carlos Gonzalez had to leave the game after aggravating a left index finger injury. He's day to day. Base hit. Rockies will bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out in the 9th.
Bad pitch down and out over the plate. Just a better bit of hitting that time by Corey Dickerson to rope that one into left field for a base hit. You know, that 7th home run surrendered by Addison Reed this year in just over 25 innings of work. He's only 1 behind Bronson Arroyo, who has surrendered 8 home runs in 67 2/3 innings.
Well, Willeen Rosario has hit the ball hard a couple of times tonight. Randall Delgado throwing for the D-backs. Rosario singled in the 2nd and doubled his last time up. And he is the tying run with no outs. There's a strike, 0-1. Popped him up, shallow left center, long run for Peralta, and Inciarte comes sliding in to snare that one in no man's land for the first outs. Ender had to run a long way in to get that one.
Playing deep, respecting the power of Rosario, both Peralta and Inciarte had to come streaking in from their positions. It's Inciarte who gets there in time to make the nice sliding catch.
He covers so much ground out there. 1 out for Charlie Culberson. Culberson doubled in the 2nd. He's 1 for 3. There's a strike. It's 0-1. Culberson in there for the injured Nolan Arenado on the 15-day DL with a fractured finger. play. It's 0-2. Dinger's really getting them stirred up back there. There's the strikeout. Montero hangs on. 2 down.
Slider that time from Addison Reed. Had Culberson out front, cued it right off the end of the bat. Fortunately, Miggy able to hang on to that foul tip for strike 3.
DJ LeMahieu. LeMahieu homered in the 5th, his 2nd of the year. Joe's bunt and takes a strike. Pitcher's spot is due up next, and Drew Stubbs is in the on-deck circle. Should LeMahieu reach. LeMahieu, who's hit in 6 straight. Diamondbacks got 3 in the 4th. Back-to-back homers by Evans and Owings. Owings is a single shy of the cycle. They added the insurance run in the 8th. Rockies have got 1 back on the Tulo homer. 0-2, 2 outs to LeMahieu.
The same pitch Cody Ross was complaining about earlier in the ball game. That fastball inside corner, just off the inside corner. Got the strike call early on. Not here in the 9th.
That was a strike the first 3 or 4 innings tonight. But if you don't get the call, a good place to miss. Here's the 1-2 now. Dickerson takes off for second. That one is fouled away with Evans playing behind the runner. There goes Dickerson again. Called strike 3. That's the ball game. Jerry Lane rings up LeMahieu, and the D-backs take it 4-2. So the night ends as it began, with some controversial strike calls by the crew chief behind the plates.
This one was even farther off the corner than the other one.
Wow. But the D-backs will take it, and they win the first game of this quick 3-game road trip. 4-2 over the Rockies. Chase Anderson is terrific for the D-backs. 6 innings of 4-hit ball. Chris Owings comes up a single shy of the cycle. Evans and Owings back-to-back homers in the fourth. A lot to talk about here. We'll have it all for you on Diamondbacks Live. Coming up next, D-backs win it 4-2. Back from Coors Field after this.